everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Elizabeth, your coach and guide on all things health, healing, nervous system wellness, embodiment, and coming back home to yourself. And today we are talking about something that I think so many women can deeply identify with, but maybe not fully understand. That belief that I've got it all handled. I don't need anyone. I'll just do it myself. It's easier if I handle everything. Being the one who holds it all together, the one who gives, the one who carries, the one who overfunctions, the one who never asks for help. And while the world often praises this as a sense of strength, sometimes hyper independence is actually a trauma response. And if that feels activating to hear, then stay with me, because this conversation is not about shame. It's about awareness and maybe even freedom. This is a topic I can relate to more than I care to admit, having literally spent decades operating this way while I was in survival and feeling like I was the only one that I could rely on. And my hope is today that you can take something from this video that may help you on your journey. So let's dive into today's topic. First, let's look at what hyper-independence actually is. Hyper-independence is more than simply being capable. Being independent is healthy. Being self-sufficient can be empowering, but hyper-independence is different. Hyper-independence says, I can only rely on myself. Asking for help feels unsafe, or even like a weakness. Vulnerability feels dangerous. Receiving feels uncomfortable. Rest feels lazy. Trust feels risky. It often can look like doing everything yourself, difficulty delegating tasks, feeling resentful but still overgiving, struggling to receive support, overworking, emotional self-isolation, always being the strong one. And for many women, this didn't come from empowerment. It came from survival. Let's next discuss the nervous system connection. Let's talk about why. Your nervous system learns through experience. If at some point in your life you learned support wasn't consistent, your needs weren't safe, vulnerability led to pain, depending on others led to disappointment, expressing emotion wasn't welcomed, your nervous system adapted to that. And adaptation can sound like, I'll do it myself so I never have to be let down. That's not weakness, that's protection. Hyperindependence is often the nervous system's attempt to create safety through control. Because if you control everything, you reduce a sense of uncertainty. And to a trauma-informed nervous system, control can feel a lot safer than trust does. But as I've personally come to learn over the many years, even if you feel like you're in control of something, the only thing that we can really ever control in this life is how we respond to our circumstances. Basically, anything else that we think we may have control over is merely just a comforting illusion. So now let's talk about why this gets confused with feminine empowerment today. This is where the conversation gets important, because online feminine energy is often simplified into basic concepts of softness, receiving, flow state, surrender, letting go. And while there is truth there, many women hear those things and they logically think, great, I'll just become softer. But if your nervous system doesn't feel safe, softness can feel terrifying, because softness requires a sense of safety. Receiving requires trust. Surrender requires regulation. Without that foundation, softness can feel like a sense of collapse, and that is not the same thing. So with that said, let's now look at softness versus nervous system collapse. Let's clarify this because it's so important. True feminine softness feels rounded, open, regulated, receptive, connected, present, but collapse, on the other hand, can feel exhausted, numb, disconnected, shut down, powerless, frozen, One is embodied trust, the other is nervous system overwhelm. And so many women can confuse the two because they've spent so long functioning in a sense of overdrive that any slowing down can feel foreign to them. But unfamiliar doesn't mean unsafe. So let's now summarize the topic of Carl Jung's teachings of the shadow and the strong woman. Carl Jung talked about the shadow, the unconscious patterns that we develop in order to survive in life. We all have them, and the point is not to deny that we have them, but to integrate them. And for many women, the strong, independent woman identity can become part of that shadow. Not because strength is a bad thing, but because identities can become a sense of armor. And I can also personally attest to that feeling. Ask yourself, who am I if I stop holding everything? Who am I if I receive? Who am I if I let myself be supported? Sometimes what we call personality is actually protection, and that awareness is so powerful. With that said, now let's dive into the spiritual healing and feminine energy aspect. Spiritually, many traditions talk about feminine energy as receptivity, intuition, creation, flow, and trust. But grounded spiritual healing doesn't mean bypassing the body. Edgar Cayce emphasized the mind-body-spirit alignment, and that matters here because you cannot spiritually manifest your way into receiving if your nervous system believes receiving is unsafe for you. You can say affirmations all day long, but if your body says support is dangerous, you'll resist, even subconsciously, what it is that you want for your manifestation. This is why feminine healing is nervous system healing. So what are some signs of hyper independence that may be running your life, you might be wondering? Ask yourself, do I struggle to ask for help from others? Do I feel uncomfortable when people support me? Do I immediately say, no, I'm fine, even when I'm overwhelmed? Do I overfunction in relationships? Do I secretly resent carrying so much? Do I equate needing others with a sense of weakness? Do I stay busy because stillness feels uncomfortable for me? If the answer is yes to any of those, then this may be a pattern worth exploring for you. And again, not because you're broken, but because awareness creates choice and is the first step to change and transformation in your life. So how do we start healing this? Healing hyperindependence doesn't mean becoming helpless. It means becoming safe enough to receive. Some simple ways that you can begin would be to start small with receiving. Let someone hold the door for you or pay for lunch for you. Accept help from others when offered. Receive a compliment without deflecting it. Tiny moments do matter. Notice your body's reaction when support shows up and ask, what am I feeling? Tension, discomfort, resistance? That's information for you. Challenge the story and ask, is it actually unsafe to receive or just unfamiliar and I'm mistaking it for unsafe? Also, regulate your nervous system because trust is hard from survival mode. Believe me, I know. Support yourself with regular breath work, grounding practices, rest when needed, nourishment of all kinds, slowing down and allowing integration to happen. Practicing safe interdependence. Healing is not independence or dependence, it's healthy interdependence, a sense of connection, support, boundaries, mutual trust. So I'd like to invite you to look at a new definition of strength. What if strength isn't carrying everything alone? What if strength is being honest about your needs, allowing support from others, setting boundaries with others, receiving love, trusting safe people, softening without losing yourself? That's real power, not collapse, not dependency, but embodied strength. The bigger message in all of this is if you've built a life around being the capable one, being the strong one, being the one who never needs anyone, I want you to hear this. That identity may have protected you, and you can honor that. But protection is not the same as freedom. And healing may look like learning that support is safe now. So if this conversation resonated with you today, if you recognized yourself here in any of this content, please know you are not weak, you are not failing, your nervous system learned how to survive, and now you get to teach it something new. That softness can be safe, that receiving can be safe, that support can be safe. If this is the work that you're navigating right now, then my Sacred Self-Love and Nervous System Healing Guide is designed to help rebuild self-trust and begin healing these deeper patterns. I also have additional resources for you where we go much deeper into nervous system healing, self-worth, and embodiment. Everything is linked for you below. And if this resonated with you today, then let me know in the comments. Do you identify with hyper-independence? I'd love to hear your experience or your questions on this. And if this video helped you at all today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this conversation. This is your weekly reminder to do something today that brings you joy. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.